So apparently the New York City Marathon had tents for breastfeeding. There's a whole article about it in the New York Times. And I have thoughts. So they're talking mostly about a few runners who, professional athletes, two-time Olympian, like these are professional runners, right? I hope this is my last marathon video for a while. Y'all know I'm a little hyper-focused on how the dynamics of patriarchy and all these systems really play out in marathons. This is not really about men. This was not about men being terrible fathers when they run marathons. This is about, I fully support women running marathons. As I've said before, a lot of times this is the only time they have alone out away from their children, especially, if they're a mom. And that unlike men, they have not been conditioned to like center their hobbies in like everything that they do and make other people like adapt to them. That's not I'm not saying women don't do that. I'm saying that is not how we are raised collectively. So I'm happy that they had some, women running the marathon who were breastfeeding, that they have lactation stations finally. I think that's great. That's progress. And like this point says right here, I do not deserve to be penalized because I'm working into parenthood or because I'm postpartum. And so they provided, private spaces and hand pumps, okay? Other sports of trying to, be accommodating to mothers. And Serena Williams really shined a light on just how much more difficult it is for women who are trying to be parents, but also be elite athletes, especially, a GOAT. That's even next level. Especially since she almost died in childbirth due to racism, misogynoir. So I'm glad that this article was talking about this thing, right? We need sports, including marathons, to be more accessible to mothers. This comment right here, we should start with lactating spots for mothers in places other than marathons, but I guess you gotta run for it. Oh, that's such a perfect comment. And then this person, having a baby isn't hard enough. Now we expect them to run marathons too? And that brings in the point about just how violently anti-child, especially anti-mother, most societies, Western societies at least, are set up, especially the United States. Not only do they not get parental leave, right? Don't get time off to have the kids. Not enough. Don't have aftercare. You certainly don't have a government paying for sessions of a video game type thingy that helps helps with your pelvic floor stuff. This is one of my students wrote this for the Huffington Post. It's really great if you want to read it. But we don't have this. We have nothing. The United States provides no support for for mothers, parents in general, but especially mothers. And so the least they should be able to do is literally feed their children, pump their boobs so that they can save that milk. I had no idea until I became a nanny how crazy the whole pumping stuff is. Holy crap! Freezer full of bags of milk. How precious that's like gold. The work that goes into making just a little bag. My God. And women can't even do that in public. They can, legally. But I had to write articles being where you can and can't legally breastfeed in the U.S. Because so many businesses, if they see a mom pulled over, plopped out on the floor, and one of my friends who wrote another article talks about stuff like this all the time. Was literally in Petco and was crap, I got to do this now. There's nowhere to go. So she just sat on the floor, and then a manager came over and was like, what are you doing? Literally feeding my child right now. It's finally legal to do it in all 50 states. But just because it's legal doesn't mean that people aren't still kicking women out of establishments because they don't like seeing it. Or making faces at them because they don't want to see it. As if feeding your child there's anything wrong with that. And this is so much about purity culture. I mean, it's about misogyny, patriarchy, but it's purity culture. The boobs are so sexual. You know what I mean? If they can create tents in a marathon that happens once a year because there's a handful of women who need to pump in the middle of a race, why are those not everywhere? Why are there not private spaces everywhere? I've seen them pop up in airports and, occasionally. Why does a woman have to go sit on a toilet or just be it's ridiculous? So I'm so happy that they had those tents for marathon runners. Why should women have to run a marathon to get basic support for literally keeping humans alive? The way that we worship mothers. And and give them nothing and crap on them all the time. This is one of my Roman empires. And I don't know, maybe it's because I just see it happen to all my friends who are mothers, all of my relatives who are mothers. God, because I don't have children of my own, I am mad for y'all. Because I'm not overwhelmed with motherhood. So I actually have the time and energy to be pissed on your behalf. Ah! Our societies need to support mothers, parents, but especially mothers. Because I swear to God, as strong as they are not built to do all this with no support and shame all the time and no help from the men who knocked them up to begin with. And the governments that need those children to then be labor. God! Ah!